Coming off a jam-packed week of economic data last week, we head into the final few trading sessions before the next Fed decision and CPI reading, with more economic releases to come this week. It's your week ahead preview right now. We jump right into it. Monday, the session kicks off with a bang, starting just after the market opens. One of those 9:45 numbers. We get the S&P Composite and Services PMI report, followed very closely at 10 a.m. by October factory orders. That's for November, and also November non-manufacturing PMI, also at 10 a.m. Recent preliminary data on these reports have suggested that the initial moves the Fed has already done have now begun to take effect on not only bringing inflation under control, but negatively impacting the overall economy. Tuesday going to be a quiet day overall, both for earnings and economic releases. We'll be watching chip stocks, however. Taiwan Semi going to be in the spotlight. TSM shares could be a mover as U.S. President Biden and the Commerce Secretary are set to visit the company's new multi-billion-dollar Phoenix facility. On the economic front, we'll get one release at 8:30. That's going to be the October trade balance figures, not a number that typically moves the market. Focus then shifts to after the market closes. Earnings from Dave & Buster's coming through. SFIX one for the notepad as well. Stitch Fix coming through with their report. Wednesday, a bit of a quiet day overall. Only one notable earnings name, and it's a big one. GameStop set to come through with their report after the market closes. The biggest headline surrounding the stock recently came with legendary investor Carl Icahn recently disclosing that he's been accumulating a very large short position in the name since the beginning of the year. We'll have Peloton on watch as well. Their annual shareholder meeting coming up in a virtual event after the market closes on Tuesday. So some of the comments that come out of that annual shareholder meeting could move the stock when trading resumes on Wednesday. Let's move on to the busiest earnings day of the week. Going to come Thursday, Broadcom. We'll get CHWY, we'll get DOCU, and we'll also get Lululemon, which can be a great trade off of earnings. Lulu shares could be interesting going into earnings, coming off back-to-back earnings beats. We've had a ton of recent data suggesting the consumer is a little bit stronger than everyone thinks. A former Cathie Wood favorite then set to report as well. DocuSign on deck. Most recent analyst moves on the stock have actually been back to the upside. We'll see if DOCU can impress with their recent report coming out as well. More important economic data then coming out Friday morning. We'll wrap up the week with a big number coming at 8:30. We get November PPI. This is another inflation-related release. Make sure you're with us in the pre-market at 8:30. Again, November PPI set to come out. We'll also get Michigan consumer sentiment. That's both coming out on Friday. Michigan sentiment at 10 a.m. It's the final trading week before we get the December Fed decision. Again, coming up the 13th of December, we get the CPI reading, and then the very next day, the 14th, will be the next Fed decision from Fed Chair Powell. All indications, all comments coming from the Fed, much improved. Should be a 50 basis point increase. Doesn't mean this week isn't going to be exciting. Make sure you join us live daily, guys, on TraderTV.Live.